Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is part 7 of B Sharp in C Sharp video tutorial series. In this video, we are going to learn about the difference between where and dynamic keyword, how we can declare the variable and how we can initialize the variables in C Sharp with a practical example. Before jump on to today's topic guys, I would strongly recommend you to watch the previous session video which was related to the data types. So let's first understand what are variables. So variables are nothing but kind of container which holds the values, or you can say which store the data value. Whatever data you want to store, the variables are going to contain those values, and based on those values and the data types, it is going to consume the memory, whether into the stack or into the heap. If you want to understand what is the difference between stack and heap type of memory, you can watch our previous video which was related to stack and heap memory. I'll share the link in the description box. You can go through that. So each variable would have a data type. So whenever you are going to declare a particular variable, you must need to know what kind of data type this variable is going to be and what kind of data this variable is going to hold. Once you are sure about this, then you can declare that particular variable. So before using any kind of variable, you must declare it, and after that you can initialize it. Okay, so if we talk about the syntax of declaring a particular variable, there are majorly three parts. One is the data type, second one is the variable name, and the third one is the value which we need to initialize in that particular variable. So let's understand this from the Visual Studio. Let's jump onto the Visual Studio and try to understand what are these three parts. So see here, to declare a particular variable, as I told you, first of all, we need a data type. So let's suppose we want to declare an integer type of variable. So to declare an integer type of variable, we need a data type, right? And the data type would be int. So first of all, we need to write the int data type. Once you are sure about the data type, you need to give the variable name. As of now, for an example, we can take any name, but whenever you are going to work on a particular project, in that project, you would be having some kind of naming conventions or some kind of standards. So while declaring the variables, you need to follow those standards to declare a particular variable. So here I am declaring a variable as number, int number. So if I write the data type space the variable name, this is called the declaration. And if I assign a value to this particular variable, any value, let's suppose I am assigning 10 to this particular value. So whenever I am going to assign a value to this particular variable, that process is called initialization. Okay, same goes with other data types also. So let's suppose we are defining a string first name. Okay, so this is called declaration. And if I assigning any particular value to this particular variable, CodeMasterBipin. So if I'm assigning this value to this string type of variable, that is called initialization. There are two ways to initialize the value to a particular variable. The first way I have already shown you. That means, first of all, you need to declare the variable, and in the next line or in the next statements, you can assign the value or initialize the value. The other way is, let's suppose we are declaring another integer value, age. And once we declare it, we need to put the equal to symbol here, and we need to assign some value. So let's suppose I am assigning 72 here. Okay, so this is also the combination of variable declaration and initialization. The left part of this equal to is called declaration, and the right hand side part is called the initialization. Here in this statement, we are declaring an integer named age, and on the right hand side we are initializing one value as 72. Same goes with the other data type also. Let's suppose we are declaring a variable bool is active, and we can assign a value true to it. So that is how we can assign a value or initialize a value to a particular variable. I hope this is clear to everyone. Now we have one keyword available in C#, where, and another keyword in C# is dynamic. So first of all, we are going to understand what is where and how it can be used in our project. So in C#, where is nothing but an implicit type local variable that allows your compiler, your C# compiler, to infer the type of the variable based on the assigned value. And this entire process happens during the initialization. Let's understand in another way. Where is a kind of keyword. Whenever we are going to use this where to declare a particular variable, it is going to infer the type of the value which is being assigned to that particular variable at the compile time. So let's take an example. So here in the Visual Studio, we can take an example. Let's try to understand what is where, how we can make use of. So first of all, to declare or to use a where keyword, we should write where. Let's suppose I am creating a variable number here, and I am assigning a particular value 25 to it. So where is a kind of keyword which infer the data type of the value at the compile time. Infer means, to simplify the things, infer means the compiler would identify the data type of the value, and this where variable would act like that particular data type. So whatever value I am assigning to this number variable, this variable would become that particular data type. I am assigning an integer, so this number would act as an integer. If I assign a string to it, it would act as an string. If I assign a boolean value to it, it would act as a boolean. Okay, so let's see all these scenarios one by one. So for this where variable, I am assigning one integer value. I am creating another variable name, and here we are printing CodeMasterBipin, and here we are taking another variable amount 100.25, and another variable of is active true. So here I have declared 4 variables and I have initialized some values into it. So let's hover the first variable. We have assigned integer value, and if I hover the mouse on this where keyword, you would see it is saying represents a 32-bit integer. So it is acting like a integer. If I hover the second statement, so it is saying represents text. So it is representing the text as an string. In the third statement, it is saying represents a double precision floating point number. Okay, so it is representing the double. And in the fourth point, it is representing a boolean. The type is where for all 4 statements, but those are acting in a different way. Whatever type of value is being assigned to them, they are becoming that type. To see the type of all these values, what we can do is, let's print the type of all these values. Okay. So let's see what data type it prints for all these 4 variables. So if I execute this program, you will see it would print 4 types, 4 different types based on the value. First of all, it should print integer, then it should print string, then it should print double, at the last it should print boolean. So if I press F5 and zoom it for you guys, so you'll see it just print the value along with its data type. So 25 is a type of integer, CodeMasterBipin is a type of string, 100.25 is a type of double, and true is a boolean. Okay, so where is nothing but an implicit type of data type which acts based on the value assigned to it. So there are some characteristics also with this where keyword. So let me take you through those characteristics. The first characteristic is you cannot declare the variable, or you cannot make use of this where keyword without initializing the value. That means if I declare a where variable and I am giving a variable name here, and I cannot just declare it. It is a must to initialize a value into it. Without initializing the value, it would give you a compile time error. So see here what it is saying. Implicitly typed variable must be initialized. In case of other data types, we just see while declaring the variable, the integer variable, we were doing int num or string name, right? We could declare the variable without initializing the value. But in case of where, it is a must to initialize the value. So if I initialize a value to it, the error is gone. The second point is where must be declared or be used under the method blocks. Outside the method blocks, you cannot declare the where variables, or you cannot make use of it. How? Let's see an example. So inside this particular class, let's create a method over there, public void calc method I'm creating. And inside this calc method, if I declare where num equal to 10, and if I print this console.writeLine num, okay, so I am declaring this where variable inside the method blocks, inside the method body. But if I cut this statement here and put it outside the method, so you will see the contextual keyword where may only appear within a local variable declaration or in the script code. So it is saying you cannot declare a where type of variable outside the method. But at the same time, if I make it int, you would be able to declare it and initialize it. But in case of where, it is not possible to declare it outside the method body. This is the second characteristic of where. The third characteristic of where is you cannot create the properties inside the class. And how it is not possible? If I create a class, public class coordinates, and inside the coordinate, let's suppose it is having two properties, x-axis and y-axis. Okay, so as you can see, both of the properties are having this get and set, and both of the properties are type of int. So while declaring these properties, I cannot make use of where keyword. So if I define where here, so it would throw a compile time error, and it would tell, if you hover the mouse over there, it would tell you the contextual keyword where may only appear within a local variable declaration or in script code. Okay, so that is how you cannot create a property inside a particular class using this where keyword. Let's jump on to the presentation. The last point is, once the type is inferred by compiler, it cannot change. So that means, let's suppose here we have defined one variable where number equal to 25. So now you know that this number variable would act like an integer. Okay, so let's suppose here we are assigning one string hello message. Let's rename it to this variable as message. So in this message variable, we are initializing this hello string, and this message variable would act as an string, right? Once we are done with the operation on this particular string or on this particular variable, we cannot change the data type of this particular variable. How? If I want to assign an integer value to it, it would not allow me to do so. it would not allow me, cannot implicitly convert a type into string. In the same way, if I declare a bool type, declare a variable, now it would act like a boolean value, right? And if I try to assign an string to it, hello again, so it would not allow me to do so, because at the time of initialization we have already defined that this variable is going to act like a string and this variable is going to act as a boolean value. Okay, so that is why the initialization is must here, and we cannot change the data type of this particular variable once the data type is identified or inferred by the compiler. All this process is compile time process. If there is a mismatch between the data types, it would give you a compile time error like this. Now the second keyword comes dynamic keyword. Dynamic is a dynamically typed variable, and the type of the variable would be determined at the runtime by the compiler. And we can change the values or we can change the data type during the execution of the program. How we can make use of this dynamic data type? First of all, to declare the dynamic variable, we need to use this dynamic keyword, then the variable name. Variable name I am taking here as MESSAGE message, and it is not must to initialize the value while declaring a dynamic type of variable. Okay, so it is not necessary. You can initialize the value after the declaration also in case of dynamic. So if I say message is having hello codemaster Bipin, let's suppose this message variable is having a particular string. It is being initialized using this particular string, and we are doing some kind of operation here. Okay, once the operation is done, we can change the value of this particular message variable. Let's suppose now I am assigning an integer value, or let's suppose we are assigning a double type of value. Okay, so it would accept it. It would not give you a compile time error. And after assigning this double type of variable, we are doing some kind of operation again, and later on we are assigning a boolean type of value here. So see, to a single variable we have assigned three different type of values, but it is not giving us the compile time error. But in case of where, we were getting a compile time of error, right? The reason behind that is the where keyword infer the data type of the initialized value at the compile time. The dynamic variable identify or infer the data type of the given values at the runtime. So in case of dynamic, whenever this program is going to execute, at that time it would identify the type of this particular value, do the operation. In the next line, identify the data type of this particular value, do the operation, and at the last it would identify the data type of this boolean value, act like as a boolean, and do the operations. Okay, I hope this is clear to everyone. So let's see by printing the type of all these three values. Console.writeLine, and under the write line message.getType. Same we need to copy and paste it here, and same we need to paste it here. So all these three statements would print a different data type. For this first statement, it would print the string data type. For the second statement, it would print the double data type, and for the third statement, it would print the boolean data type. So here we have declared one variable assigning three different values, and it is acting like different data types at the runtime. So let's execute this program and see what would be the output. So if I just press F5, so you will see three different type of data types are being printed over there. The first one is the string type, second one is the double type, and the third one is the Boolean type. I hope this is clear to everyone. Now, in the var variable, one more thing you can understand while declaring a var variable. Let's suppose we are declaring a list. Earlier we understood about some integer, boolean, string, right? So let's understand about the list also, or array also. So let's suppose in the var variable I am declaring a list type of integer. So here I am creating an integer type of list, and inside this particular list, let's suppose there are some values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so all these values are here. So in this case, what would happen? This var variable, this list type of variable would act like a generic list. In the coming videos, we'll talk more in detail what are generic list, what are the generic collections. So don't worry about that. But to understand the var variable, we are taking this example. So if I assign any kind of array or list or any kind of collection to a particular var variable, it would act like that. Another example, if I define an array, integer array of size 1, 2. So see here, this var variable is acting like a integer array. Okay, and if I define var dictionary new dictionary type of int or int, so see here, this dictionary, this var variable is acting like a dictionary. Okay, so whatever data type or whatever value we are going to assign to a var type of variable, it would act like that particular data type. Okay, and one thing I want to tell you, while declaring this var, you need to be very sure what kind of data you are going to initialize to that particular variable. You should not just blindly put the values inside a particular var, because it is going to consume the memory also into the stack or into the heap. So you should be aware of what kind of value it is going to contain and what kind of memory it is going to consume. If you want to learn more about the memory type of stack and heap, you can watch previous video from this tutorial series, and you can try to understand what type of memory we are having. I hope this is clear to everyone. There are some scenarios where when we should use var and when we should use dynamic keyword. We should use var type of variable or var type of keyword when the type is clear from the context or can be inferred. The same thing if you are very much sure about the type, what kind of value you are going to initialize. Second one is when you want to enhance the readability of your code and you want to avoid the repetitive declaration. At that time, you can make use of this var keyword. Okay, dynamic keyword you can make use of like when you want to get some kind of information related to reflection, or if you are going to work with some kind of JSON, right? Or if you want to expand some kind of objects over there, and if you want to work with some kind of COM interoperability. So in all these scenarios, you can make use of dynamic keyword. I hope this is clear to everyone. So that's it for today, guys. And if you have any kind of question, do let me know into the comment box. I would be very much happy to answer all your queries. In the coming video, we are going to learn about the type conversion, what is implicit, what is explicit conversion, with an example in C# language. And guys, if you have not subscribed this channel, I would request every one of you to subscribe this channel. Turn on the notifications so that you don't miss any kind of communication or video from this particular channel. And you can like and share these tutorial series with your colleagues and friends so that they also can get the benefit from this particular video series. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good day.